Hey Nia, welcome to a special study guide made just for you. We're about to hop on a train in India with the one and only Phileas Fogg. Let's get you totally ready for your exam.
Okay, so we're jumping into this adventure at a super exciting moment. Mr. Fogg is trying to race around the entire world in only 80 days. And right now, his journey is taking him right across India by train. All right, first things first, let's meet the main people on this train. You know, remembering who's who is a really great tip for your exam. So on our train, we've got our hero, Phileas Fogg, and he is totally confident he's going to win his bet. Then there's his loyal servant, Passepartout, who's right there with him. And we also have Sir Francis Cromarty, who's another passenger, and he thinks this whole trip is just a silly idea. Okay, here's a super important word to remember, wager. It's basically a fancy word for a bet, and it's the whole reason Mr. Fogg is on this crazy journey. He made a wager that he could travel around the whole world in 80 days. So now that we know who we're traveling with, what did they actually see? The train has pulled out of Bombay, and now it's speeding through the absolutely beautiful Indian countryside. Can you just imagine looking out the window and seeing all of this, Nia? The book uses some amazing words to describe it, like mountains being crowned with forests and the clattering sound of the train that actually scares away tigers. So cool. Here is another fantastic word from the book, picturesque. So when the author talks about picturesque bungalows, it just means they were so pretty they looked like they came straight out of a painting. It's a great word to have in your back pocket when you want to describe something really beautiful. So Sir Francis is remembering a time when traveling was way, way slower. He tells Mr. Fogg that not too long ago, people had to cross these mountains in things called palanquins, which are like covered chairs carried by people, or even on ponies. He's really just pointing out how lucky they are to have a train. And this is a palanquin. See? It's a type of covered chair that people would carry. Can you imagine traveling that way? Yeah, the train is definitely a whole lot faster. So everything was going just perfectly. The train was zipping along, Mr. Fogg was right on schedule, and then, all of a sudden, at 8 o'clock at night, the train just screeches to a stop. They're in a clearing, literally in the middle of nowhere, and the conductor just tells everybody, time to get out. I mean, can you believe that, Nia? The train just stops in the middle of a forest? What would you even do if that happened to you? Okay. Pay really close attention here, Naya, because this is the huge problem in the chapter. The newspapers got it wrong. The train tracks, they just end. There's a whole 50-mile gap before the railway starts up again. Whoops. Well, Sir Francis is furious about this delay. I mean, he is getting really, really angry. But what about Mr. Fogg? Does he start to panic? The way Mr. Fogg and Sir Francis react here is a really big clue about their personalities. So make sure you remember this. Sir Francis gets all angry, but Mr. Fogg, he stays as cool as a cucumber. Mr. Fogg says this is no big deal. He actually says he expected something like this to happen. How? Why wasn't Mr. Fogg worried at all? Well, he explains that he had already planned for problems or obstacles because he has 2 extra days to spare. The ship he took, the Mongolia, got to Bombay early, so he's actually 2 whole days ahead of his plan. This is such a cool line, Mia. It just shows how prepared and confident Mr. Fogg really is. He doesn't see a disaster, he just sees a challenge. He resolved, he decided that he would simply find another way to keep going. So, Mr. Fogg and Sir Francis start searching the village of Kholby for a different way to travel. But all the wagons and the carriages and the ponies have already been snatched up by the other passengers from the train. Just when Mr. Fogg says he'll just have to walk, clever Passepartout comes back with an idea. He says he's found a means of conveyance, which is just a very fancy way of saying he found them a ride. Come on, think about it. What kind of animal is really big and strong and famous in India? It's not a horse or a pony. An elephant. Can you believe it? Passepartout found an elephant named Kiouni to carry them the rest of the way to Allahabad. How awesome is that? Okay, let's do a quick recap of a key point for your exam. He was so calm because he had expected problems. And, this is the most important part, he had gained those 2 extra days on his schedule, so the delay wouldn't ruin his wager. You did an awesome job, Nia. You now know everything you need to about this chapter for your exam. Mr. Fogg really shows us that even when things go wrong, if you can stay calm and have a plan, you can always find a way forward.
even if that way is on the back of an elephant. Good luck!